Welcome into Ride the Line, the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G, bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. In this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. We are here giving you the picks in the NBA and college basketball today, a mid-major as it gets college basketball slate today, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, man of the people in the room. Grant, welcome into Ride the Line. You riding today?
Absolutely riding, Tanner. Just like you got to ride on over to the airport pretty soon. Guys, Tanner's continuing his world tour. So we're going to make the picks a little bit snappy today because the guy's got places to be. And you know what, Tanner? I am jealous of you. I'm jealous of how much you get out of the house and you get to travel. I think it's awesome that you get out so much.
Just like going here to there to there. I was in Florida for an IndyCar race this weekend, which was awesome. It did not go my way betting wise. I lost quick little $100 pretty easily there. But you know what? What are you going to do? We got to get back after it today with mid-major college basketball and, of course, Grant's NBA picks. But before we get into those, guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, share, do it all. Let's take this thing to the moon. Check out the shorts, which are doing well. We got some interesting stuff on there. And Grant, why don't you get us started with an NBA pick?
Okay, cool. So, as everybody knows, as I've said plenty of times by now, do daily write-ups over on WSN.com. You want to see what I'm betting on days that we're not here posting the videos. But today I like the Dallas Mavericks -4.5 against the Chicago Bulls. Now, this one could be a little bit controversial because Dallas, after winning 7 straight games right after they made those trades at the trade deadline, they then only won 1 of their next 6 games. And so they completely tailed off. That being said, they're starting to find their footing again. They won back-to-back games. Granted, not against the toughest opponents. Only beat the Detroit Pistons in their last game. But when I look at this matchup on the road against the Bulls, even though Chicago is starting to play a little bit better, since the All-Star break, Chicago's 16th in offensive rating, 21st in defensive rating. So they're not great. You know, they're a little bit better in their home building than they have been on the road. But again, since the All-Star break, Chicago is really bad at home. I believe they're 1-4 with a net rating of like -8, -9. So that's not good. Dallas, despite being only 17-13 straight up on the road and actually having a negative point differential, they're 13-3 against the spread as a road favorite, which again, I find interesting. They have a negative scoring differential overall, yet they're 13-3 against the spread as a road favorite. It's just kind of weird how that works out. But Luka's been playing out of his mind, 4 straight games with a 35-point triple-double. Kyrie hasn't been amazing, but he's giving you 22 points on efficient shooting. He can certainly play better than he is. And this Mavericks team is just, they've got too much talent. They've got too much potential to continue to play as bad as they have been since the All-Star break. 27th in rebound rate, 30th in defensive rating. I think you're going to see those start to tick up eventually. And really, I just don't think the Chicago Bulls can hang with these guys if they have their offense going the way they have been lately. Granted, DeMar DeRozan's been really good for the last couple of months, but even still, I see in this, Dallas just has such a much higher ceiling that I think they can tap into, and I wouldn't bet against them refinding their footing moving into the final months of the season.
No, -4.5 is a really good spread, even for them on the road here. Luka's been playing fantastic. And the thing I like about Luka is like the crowds are chirping him and he's really playing into that. And then he's turning it up to a whole different level right now. So, do like Mavericks tonight, -4.5. I think that's a sharp play out of you, Grant. Hopefully they can deliver because they haven't been consistent. But we need it tonight.
Hey, can you just, real quick, just mathematically speaking, is it not weird for Dallas to have a negative scoring differential and be 13-3 against the spread as a favorite, not as a dog, as a favorite?
Yeah, it's very weird. Well, I guess the games you get beat in, you get beat bad kind of thing.
But you're getting beat, I guess as when they're underdogs, I guess they're just losing big time.
Yeah, when you're underdogs, you're giving up. But we've seen that from them. Like if you look at see some of their recent scores. I feel like I bet on them recently and they've gotten blown out at times, but I could be wrong.
No, some of their games were really disappointing. And I was betting on them a lot right after those moves because I probably said it on this channel. I expected to see the largest increase from them in the second half of the season. You saw it for those 7 games because they won 7 straight and then they just completely fell off.
Yeah, like you lost by 17 to the Pacers, you lost by 28 to the Celtics, you lost by 11 to the Cavaliers, you lost by 22 to the Pacers. So there's some pretty big losses in there when they're not covering. So that must be the reason, but still a wild stat.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Tanner, let's get into the basketball. What you got? College basketball. What you got?
College basketball game notes, different level of trends and analysis. You guys got to get into these because I've just started to get into the game notes. I've been living in the Ken Palm ratings, but I'm trying to like spice things up a little bit. So if you go in the game notes here, Grant, do you know Gonzaga? They've been to the West Coast Conference Championship game 26 straight seasons, looking to make it 27 this year.
It honestly, I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me, but when you hear that, like 26 straight, like that's probably one of the greatest winning streaks in college basketball right there. And they also have not lost to San Francisco since February 18th, 2012. They've won 12 straight seasons against them. And they currently hold a 73-22 lead in the all-time series. So this has not been much of a series. However, I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm going like the Lee Corso, put the other mascot helmet on. I'm going to take San Francisco plus 8.5 tonight. Going into the last game, now San Francisco did not cover in that one against Gonzaga. They got blown out about a week ago by the Bulldogs, but they were 4-1 against the spread in the previous 5 meetings against Gonzaga. Gonzaga is not a profitable team against the spread this season. A big reason for that is they're getting dealt these massive numbers and they're not able to cover them. However, San Francisco, one of the most profitable teams in the West Coast Conference against the spread. I'm going to hope that they can dial in tonight and find a way to keep this one close. When you look at it, it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. This Gonzaga team is not the same as we've seen in years past, and quite frankly, we see Gonzaga fall off all the time in the NCAA tournament. But right now, this is somewhere where they dominate. However, 8.5 points, just way too many for me to get behind. When the San Francisco Dons shoot 50% from the field, which is a big ass tonight, obviously. They're 17-0, and they make 10 plus three-pointers. They're 11-1 in those games. Big ass tonight, but there is a route for them to be successful against Gonzaga. The first meeting, I believe, they lost by 5 points. So I'm expecting another tight game in the West Coast Conference semifinal.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise to see it be close because when you get towards the later stages, despite Gonzaga's history in this tournament, when you get down the wire, the quarterfinal, semifinal, the championship game, you start to see those games tensen up a little bit. The palms get sweaty, knees weak, arms heavy, all that stuff. So yeah, it wouldn't be a surprise. That being said, I think Gonzaga is pretty clearly the better team. So I don't necessarily know if I would be taking this bet. But then again, you spend more time watching these guys than I do. So you probably have a better idea than I do.
So I also, this is a little mind-blowing here. I think Gonzaga will find a way to win, but I do like San Francisco to cover. I know it's very hard to do. I do have Gonzaga potentially in a parlay. I'm kind of hedging my bets on both sides here. So I'm going a little spread, a little money line. And I think both can honestly hit tonight.
Yeah. And that's, by the way, when you get one of those parlays, you're never supposed to do this. But if you get like a parlay of the team money line and then the opposite team spread is the dog, that's when you're really dialed in.
Yeah, that's a pretty good parlay. Those are juicy. When you can get those in like the NFL, like the value on those just through the roof.
Yeah, when you get like a, I don't know, what if you get like an AFC North playoff game and you just know it's going to be 13 to 16, like you can get this team money line, this team plus 7.5, like that. You're really threading the needle there, but it's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty gratifying when it hits. Like you feel very proud of yourself.
Definitely. All right, Grant, NBA number 2.
Yeah. So taking it back to the NBA, like Tanner said, I'm going to look at the Phoenix Suns -6 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is actually -5.5 about 10 minutes ago. So we're seeing some line movement. At least I'm getting these odds from FanDuel. Haven't done my line shopping. Always do your line shopping. Maybe you can find it for a better price. But the point being, I think the Phoenix Suns can win this game. I think they could potentially blow the Cavaliers out. One of the props I'm on today is Darius Garland's under because, again, I think it's very realistic that he only plays 20 minutes because Phoenix could easily win this game. Evan Mobley's not going to play. Donovan Mitchell's not going to play. Max Strus might be out. Dean Wade missed the last game with some personal issues. I don't know if those are still going on, but if so, he could be out. There's just a lot of injury concerns with Cleveland right now. They also necessarily have not been playing the best basketball. Meanwhile, Phoenix getting their full big 3 back. Durant, Booker, Beal, all active as of now. You never know. I mean, one of them could get injured during warmups. One of them might slip on a banana peel on their walk to the car. Like, these guys always get injured, but for now, all of them are in. And when they've been in this season, all we've seen from them is excellence as a full starting 5. So you're Durant, Booker, Beal, Nurkic, Grayson Allen. I believe they still have an offensive rating above 130, which is just ridiculous. I think that they're just going to be able to score in so many ways that Cleveland can't. And you know what? If all these injuries play out and it is just Garland out there, just send 2-3 guys at him. Say, hey, George Niang. Why don't you go create your own offense? Stuff. Just put the ball in these hands of these guys you know are not going to beat you. You've got an easy path to victory. I think Phoenix wins this one in blowout.
Yeah, I agree with this. I was looking at this game. I think this is a really good play. They just got to handle the road environment there, but if they can do that, they're going to be just fine in this one.
Yep, I agree 100%. All right, Tanner, I know you got to get to the airport, so why don't you finish us up here?
Interesting play here, Grant. We're going to the Barbasol Horizon League Championship semifinal. This is where champions are made here. Cleveland State is going to battle Oakland. Big game tonight. Cleveland State's actually the team that destroyed the ladder challenge last time, so I'm not very fond of them. They blew it on day 7 for me. Well, they beat the team I needed. They beat Youngstown State, and they've been having a pretty good run as of late. They've looked really good. Some stats to note. Both teams very even in like those traditional categories. Cleveland State scoring 76.4 points per game. Oakland scoring 76.3. They're each giving up 72.9, and they each shoot 45.2% from the field. So very even game there. But when you look at the KenPom rankings, Cleveland State's 191 and Oakland is 137. I believe Oakland's just been slightly more efficient in every facet of the game. And when it comes down to it, they're winning in the conference. Oakland's 15-5 in conference play. Cleveland State is 11-9. This is a 5.5 point spread. I am going to lay the points here with Oakland. Looking at this game, though, they did split in the regular season. However, you got to go with the hot hand here. Oakland's the number 1 seed in the tournament. I think they find a way to get to the championship. They're playing very driven right now. Same thing with Cleveland State. However, Oakland's just slightly better.
Yeah, it goes back to one thing you said, being able to win conference games. There's a level of comfort that exists with this team. They know that they've been through the ladder. They've seen these teams. They've beaten them for the most part. It's funny because a couple games ago, they only beat Detroit Mercy, who is 1-30. They only beat them by 5 points. So it was a little close there, but then they bounced back, get a double-digit point win the next week. And like you said, they're just rolling right now. They've been through the conference. Again, you watch these guys more than I do, but I think this one makes sense. So I like your pick here.
If you want to get like really angry, watch mid-major college basketball. Like if you feel the need to like get like a burning anger in your stomach, just go like turn on ESPN Plus and click any game that you want, because you are going to see the most disgusting basketball play, even in a championship game. It is so. I bet like UMass Lowell played Bryant a couple weeks ago. I think I talked about this game multiple times, but I was betting on UMass Lowell and they were dominating. They were still playing really bad though. And I'm watching Bryant and I'm just like, I'm getting angry for Bryant better. So I'm like, how could you ever do that, Bryant? Like, what the hell are you doing? It's just bad. It's just bad basketball.
Yeah, sometimes because I'm an NBA guy, sometimes I'll get into debates with college basketball fans. Like, I love college basketball, but people say that it's the better product. And I'm like, these guys, even the best college basketball players, the best coaches, there's so much that they do wrong, whether it's mental stuff, missing free throws, making wrong passes, not knowing where to be on defense. Like it's a bunch of kids at the end of the day. You have to expect mistakes, but to your point, when you watch the mid-majors, it just goes to a totally different level.
Yeah, it's not a better product. Like you can't say it's a better product because the NBA, they're professionals. Like it's definitely, it's like watching college football versus the NFL. I think you can make the argument that college basketball is more exciting because you never know what you're going to get. And you can get these massive upsets in the NBA. If team's up by 15 late in the game, like they're just going to fold most of the time. You don't get that in college basketball, but better product wise, I mean, it's not a better product. It's a terrible product.
I'll tell you what, though, March Madness may be the best product in sports. For me personally, I think it's March Madness and the World Cup are the two best spectacles, and the Super Bowl probably.
Entertainment, yeah. Product, I wouldn't say it's like, what's product? Like efficiency, like good basketball play, you're not getting it. You're still not getting it in March Madness. You're getting 100%. You're getting horrendous basketball play, which makes it really exciting. But I agree. I'm not a big World Cup guy. I have gotten into it a little bit. I do like the Super Bowl a lot, though. So March Madness is very exciting because you're going to get the massive upsets. Hopefully we don't get them for the teams we're betting on, but we'll see. Oh, also Indiana State is probably not going to make the NCAA tournament now. Very sad.
Yeah, that's a sad one. They should be in there. I was looking at Lenardi's bracketology. They weren't even on the I think it was he has this last 4 in, first 4 out, next 4 out. I think they were on the one after that. So yeah, they're probably not getting in.
Got to win your conference, and Cream couldn't get it done against the Drake Bulldogs. But anyways, Grant, why don't you take us out of here?
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this Monday episode of Ride the Line. Tanner and I hope you guys all have a great day. Like the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss out when we come back with more posts and more picks. Drop some comments. Let us know who you're betting on today, and we'll see you on the next episode of Ride the Line.